Well, hello, brothers and sisters, and welcome to our special segment today. Pro-Life Leader Frank Pavone here, and I'm together with one of our great staff members, Mary Stein, who handles our correspondence and public outreach. If you write us a letter, if you send us an email, if people come to us with pro-life questions that they have, or want to get more involved in the movement, or want to know about our different projects, Mary is the first one that responds to them. And of course, we work off the same page. She reflects what the Priests for Life position is on various issues and questions that come up. And I wanted you to be able to hear from her a little bit. We'll talk a little about some of the most frequent questions that we've been getting and let you know, it's a way of reminding you that we are at your service, that we want to respond to your questions. Sometimes those questions are generated by the programs that we broadcast or by the projects that we do. And we want you to know that you can get whatever information you need to make your pro-life work even more effective. So Mary, welcome again to the program.
Thank you.
You've been on before.
Yes, I've been on a few times.
How long now have you been working for Priests for Life?
Almost 3 years.
Right here at the main office.
Yes.
Yes. How's the experience been so far?
It's been great. Like you'll remember, I was in Charleston, South Carolina, and so I moved all the way down here for the position. And it hasn't disappointed. It's been great. The staff is great. The supporters are great. So
good. Well, I had asked you to let me know what well, of course, we meet regularly and talking about what are people asking about. And you have a few samples, don't you, of some of their questions?
I do, yeah.
Let's go through some of them.
So the first one is I get questions about wording, because we do know that the pro-abortion side, they twist their words and they use it to their advantage, like pro-choice, and referring to the baby as a fetus. So some people want to know what are some words that they should use more and what are some words that they should avoid as pro-lifers.
Right, yes. And there's an old saying, social engineering is preceded by verbal engineering. You want to change society, change the way we talk about certain issues. One of the things, that this revolves around is who is this baby in the womb? What do we call this baby? Unborn, preborn, what's the right title? I like to simply say, so you can adjust this, and none of this should be dogmatic, by the way. And of course, we don't use, pro-choice. That's ridiculous. What's the choice? But as far as how we refer to the unborn child, none of this is dogmatic. You can adjust according to circumstances. But I think the best approach is to simply call them children. I often say, you often hear me refer to them as simply children in the womb. Because that, I think, is the most objective and even-handed description. They are children, just like any other child, and they're in the womb. The distinction being simply their location, not their dignity, not the level of their humanity, but they're in the womb. And it avoids I don't mind using unborn or preborn, but it avoids the negative connotation of un. Some people will say, well, they're not anything. They're fully human, with dignity, with full rights, etc. But simply children in the womb. Sometimes I'll say our brothers and sisters in the womb. And that of course strengthens the understanding of our responsibility to them. They are our brothers and sisters. So. But yes, this goes across the board with lots of other language, like you'll hear Janet talk about instead of crisis pregnancy. She'll say, well, call it an unexpected blessing.
Yeah.
Right? She likes to use that. And you can go, this could be an entire course, on language, but what the person who wrote to you is saying is very valid. And of course, if people have specific questions about language in one or another specific area of pro-life, they should ask us, and we'll delve into more detail on that.
Yes, awesome. So another thing that what I get a lot is stories about people, they're trying to get a Respect Life group, going on at their church, and they kind of hit a brick wall on some people they might have different ideas, not really on the pro-life movement. They're all pro-life, but on different issues. They don't agree on that. So I guess what the question would be is, what are some practical tips on how to keep the pro-life movement united while still respecting the diversity that we have in the pro-life movement?
Yeah. One of the pieces of advice we would have is don't try to focus on too many different issues. A pro-life group should have a very specific focus. If they're going to have an impact, it should be a narrow focus. Our whole organization, as you know, we're focused on one thing, ending abortion. Now, there's a lot of other issues out there. A lot of other issues we're concerned about, and a lot of other issues people ask us to be involved in. But we say we are focused on ending abortion. Now, sometimes I've been to meetings of parish pro-life groups. Are these basically parish groups that you're hearing from? Okay. Mm-hmm. So I've been to a lot of those meetings over the years. I've helped to run parish groups and helped to start them. And sometimes, I remember one in particular where they passed around a piece of paper like that. And they said, well, here's the different, issues our group is going to focus on. Mm-hmm. And there were like 25 different issues. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we fall into this. I think it's a bit of a trap. We're so used to saying, well, we're in favor of, the sanctity of life from conception to natural death. From conception to natural death. Okay. As a principle, of course, human life is sacred from conception to natural death. And then, of course, even beyond that, because we live forever. But how many different issues does that involve, conception and natural death? You can't even, right? You can't even count how many issues that involves. How can you? That can't possibly be a mission statement, because no group has the time, the energy, the resources to address every issue from conception to natural death. That's our moral principle. That's not the mission of an organization. And this is where some of the problem that this writer is rightly asking about stems from the fact that if a group tries to address too many different issues at once, you're always going to find people that have a different position on some of those issues. The way to keep unity is to narrow the focus. Do we all agree that we need to end abortion and that we're focused on the unborn child and restoring his or her rights? If everybody says yes, well, then you're on the same page. And you don't have to also be saying, well, what do you think about capital punishment? What do you think about contraception? What do you think about, the best way to fight poverty or terrorism? All of these are life issues, but narrow the focus and you'll increase the range of agreement.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Another thing that I have had people ask about is they think that putting aborted baby images or videos on TV will be able to, help a lot of people see the humanity of the child.
Yes.
But they are confused on how are they supposed to do that, right? I know that, we'll take, giant pictures of, aborted images and, we'll do it at rallies and that sort of thing, but they're specifically thinking about on TV. Is that anything? Yeah. What are your ideas?
I have been thinking and talking and pushing about that for decades. In fact, we made back in the 90s, we made a 1-minute spot for our shows on EWTN, and it started off with a completely blank screen, and it just was silence and darkness for a number of seconds, and then a voice comes on and it says, "There is nothing wrong with your TV set, but you don't see anything." And then the word abortion starts to appear on the screen, gets bigger and bigger, and the voice says, "Abortion, why don't we ever see what it looks like?" So the commercial was a challenge to the fact that here's what you don't see. The problem we run into is that those who control the media do not want to show this. Even our friendly media. We have a lot of friendly media. We have a lot of conservative media. I'm on there all the time. They're not afraid to show us talking. They won't show the aborted baby, and a lot of them won't even show the living baby. We've tried to purchase ads. I know one time we tried in USA Today. They wouldn't take our money. We just wanted to put a picture of the developing baby. Wouldn't do it. And other, again, pro-life conservative publications in the media, we try to present an ad about the unborn baby. Oh, we don't show body parts. It's like, how are we supposed to educate the public about who this baby is if we can't show the baby? Now, you mentioned some of the ways we get around this. We show these images in public. Rallies, we've got signs right here in our building. We use them for demonstrations. And even trucks and tow banner airplanes. We've been involved in that. We've been involved in those efforts. I'm a board member for the Center for Bioethical Reform that spearheads projects like that. But there's another avenue, that, of course, that now has opened up to us, and it's the alternative media, social media. Now, even some of the social media platforms, they differ between themselves as far as how much they will allow, including on this question of aborted babies. But some are very, very free speech friendly platforms. I think of Rumble and X as two good examples. But another way is simply web pages. Now, on our website, that's where we have the most freedom. We own the site, we own the domain, we have the servers right here that we only need the internet company is standing in between, and they don't censor us at all. So the question is, so for example, we've developed a website, as you know, lookatabortion.org. People can see the images right there, Look at Abortion. And so we got to promote that through email, promote that through, like we're doing now, through these broadcasts. But the question is very valid, and it's a point that we are going to continue to press on, focus on, and figure out a way to do.
Yes, and I remember when I went to Benedictine College, our Ravens Respect Life group, we even had discussions and about, is it okay to show these pictures or not? And I was kind of on the fence until I came here, and I saw all of, the testimonies of people who said, I saw this and now I know that abortion is wrong. So it made me, see that, this is actually a good thing to show, these images. So
it bears fruit.
Yes.
It actually changes people. Yeah. In fact, nothing that we've done changes people more consistently and immediately than showing the pictures. Nothing. And as you know, we do the whole range of pro-life activities.
Yes.
What else?
So another question is, some people, they think that they feel bad because they're a one voter, they're a one issue voter. And I think there's a stigma around being a one issue voter. So they feel kind of bad about that. What would you say to someone?
Don't feel bad, feel proud. It's one issue that you ask any politician, why did you get involved in politics? Usually it's one issue that drove them into politics. So for some it's abortion. I know a federal judge who said to me, the reason I went into law school was I wanted to overturn Roe v. Wade. Martin Luther King Jr. was a one-issue person. I mean, he was concerned about a lot of issues, so are we all. But it was segregation, right? The evil of segregation that catapulted him into leadership. And he left his job as a pastor in order to fight this segregation. Being one issue is normal. And that's what, it is it's stigmatized because people who oppose us want to stigmatize it. But in and of itself, it's completely valid, and it's actually completely normal. Many people, what gets a voter off his couch and into the voting booth? Usually it's one issue. Now, for a lot of parents, for example, what was the one issue that galvanized them over recent election cycles? Hey, they're indoctrinating my kids in school, and I don't want my kids learning about transgender stuff, and they won't even let the parents be involved. Single issue, right? Got them motivated, and continues to get them motivated. So, no, people should have don't be apologetic about that at all, especially when the issue is the most important issue, the defense of life.
Yes.
All the other issues depend on.
Yes. And then another thing is that a lot of our supporters, they tend to be very emotionally driven people, right? And I say that in a positive way. They really care about the world and they care about the unborn. And sometimes those types of people feel very discouraged, right, when they see, what's going on, right? Which I know, with the election of President Trump, it's looking up for us, but there still is a lot of evil in this world. And how would you suggest that, they still stay energized and grateful,
I wrote an ebook about this. Keep the Fire Burning is the title of it, and people could look that up on our website. And I go through my answer to this question in a quick nutshell. Obviously, our relationship with Christ, we start from victory. He has already conquered the power of death. We don't have to wonder if we're going to overcome it. It's overcome already. So we take that victory and we proclaim it, we celebrate it, we serve it, as John Paul II says. Relationship with Christ, prayer and grace and the sacraments. And then, second element, history. Look at history. Look at the struggles against slavery, against segregation, against any kind of injustice. we're all in the same boat. They face tremendous obstacles too, humanly impossible obstacles. Look at our founders. What were the chances of them winning the Revolutionary War? It's slim to none. And yet they pulled it off. So we look at history, we take inspiration from the leaders in history. And then the third thing is fellowship, the encouragement we get from one another. That's why people are tuning into this program. We all encourage one another. In fact, I want to invite you, friends, leave your comments as we're talking, because your comments to us strengthen and encourage us. It's all we need each other in this movement. We need to stay connected. And that's why we, as you know, and you do it when you correspond with our audience, we urge them to connect with us on social media, because those kind of connections, staying with like-minded people and being in touch, gives us that strength and that encouragement day by day.
Yes, definitely very important. And then there's two last questions that I think are a little bit more fun questions.
Okay.
The first one is, people want to know what your favorite pro-life Bible verse is.
Oh, yes. Well, one of them is the one that I decided should be the motto of Priests for Life when I took over in 1993, and that is St. Paul writing to Timothy and saying, "The spirit God has given us is no cowardly spirit." Because that's what pro-life requires. Building on our last question, you're going uphill, you're going against the tide, you're battling powerful enemies. The spirit God has given us is no cowardly spirit. It's a spirit instead that gives us courage, strength. We speak up, we stand up, we confront any obstacles, we keep on going no matter what. And that I've had to rely on that verse in so many ways, in my own work, in my own life, and in the life of the movement itself. So that's really one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, no, that's great. The last question is, people want to know, I see that you're actually wearing your leather jacket, but people were wondering what happened to it. I guess we know that Janet didn't burn it. So it's, it's still here, right?
Our production team, that Janet helps to lead, encourages me to vary my wardrobe on set. So sometimes I just have the shirt, sometimes a sweater, sometimes a suit jacket, and sometimes my favorite, the leather jacket. So yes, it hasn't gone anywhere, and no, it hasn't been retired or anything like that. But yeah, we do vary it, and sometimes depending, on the circumstances, the type of program, the type of guests we have. But it's fun though. I enjoy it.
Yes, good. I'm sure people are happy that your jacket is fine.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Well, this is great. And so these are the kinds of questions that do come in. And friends, I hope it's helpful for you that every once in a while we go through some of these questions. And prolifequestions.com is one of our websites, right? You refer people there.
Yes.
Prolifequestions.com has a bunch of questions there with responses. You can look them up. And if you don't find the question there that you're trying to answer, Mary is always available. You can submit your questions right on that webpage, actually. Or you can email her at correspondence@priestsforlife.org, right?
Yes.
Good. Any final thoughts? It's a great team that we have, right? Going back to what we said at the beginning.
You're a great team.
Our staff, of course, we have our staff here, and we have staff in various other cities. Sometimes we all come together like we did at Christmas. And we try to make it like a happy family.
Yes, and our supporters make it very happy as well. All of their praise and support that they always give us.
Yes. Well, thanks for the work that you do.
Yes, thank you.
We look forward to doing it for many more years. And thank you, brothers and sisters, for your support. Continue to tune into our program, spread the word about them, continue to support our ministry, and we will talk to you soon. Mary Stein here, our correspondence associate, myself, Pro-Life Leader Frank Pavone. We will talk to you soon.
Hello, I'm Dr. Alveda King, board member of Priests for Life. More money is being spent in America to kill babies in the womb than to save them. Together, we need to change that, and today I want to invite you to support our work at Priests for Life. Why ours rather than other groups? Because we have a unique team that helps lead in every arena of the fight against abortion, and we activate the churches where you find people who are most likely to get involved in that fight. To awaken a pastor about abortion is to awaken thousands of people he serves. We do not receive church funding or government grants. We rely on you for individual donations. We have a very high evaluation among charities and top security on our donation site, prolifegift.org. You can go there for a one-time gift or to become a monthly donor, or you can call us at 321-500-1000.